Alright, hey everyone! Welcome to another Wildewitch RP live play TTRPG session. What is Wildewitch RP? Well, that's me, Faye, game master and storyteller, and Lachlan, our writer and producer. We're a couple who love sharing stories, so much so that we quit our day jobs and we created our own company. That way we could create high quality and exciting TTRPG experiences full time and share them with you. And today we're playing D&D. This session features the Stygian Turn, a tense and terrifying story set in our very own Velenar campaign world, where the cold northern city of Arlecha is overrun by carnivorous undead. Will our heroes survive this apocalypse? Or will they be devoured and transformed into horrific monsters? With us at the table are several of the incredible players who have joined us on our grand endeavor. If you'd like to play alongside them, you're more than welcome to join us as well. You can ask in chat or hop over to our Discord where you can find out more information. Now, speaking of our awesome players, it's time for introductions. Like I said, I'm Faye, game master and storyteller. With me is Sirenscape, who brings our background music and sound effects. It's a fantastic and affordable sound collection that you can find at sirenscape.com. And now, we get to meet our courageous, daring heroes before they embark on another exciting tale. And we'll begin with an introduction for Callus.
Hello, my name is Brent. I'll be playing Callus Darkwind. He is an Air Genasi rogue who came to Arlecha on assignment from his guild, seeking some notoriety for himself. He's very observant. He likes to keep a calm, cool demeanor, and everything seems to be crumbling around him. We'll see how that goes.
We will see how that goes. Next up for our introductions, why don't we get an introduction for Anansi?
Hey, I'm Kelsey. I'm playing Anansi. She is a goblin rogue, a smuggler. She's quiet. She's taking things in as they come.
Amazing. We'll see how well she's taking things in as they come.
It's not great.
It's not great right now.
I can tell you right now.
But we do, we have more introductions to be made, so why don't we get an introduction for Walk?
Hi, I'm Nix. I'm playing Walk. He is a goblin druid, one of 4 goblins. He runs a herbalism shop, and the last thing on his mind is getting back to the shop because everything's kind of going crazy here. Oh God, and his apprentice is going to be in charge.
During the apocalypse, no less. Oof.
And he's the worst.
Amazing. Next up for our introductions, why don't we learn about Scrungle?
Hi, I'm Shay, and I'll play Scrungle. She's a goblin barbarian who had a divine connection to the goddess of light and beauty until an unfortunate incident almost resulted in her death. Though through her hearty constitution and sheer spite, Scrungle recovered stronger than ever, and with the ability to shift to a more bestial form during combat.
Amazing. And then, last but not least, let's get an introduction for Zanilla.
Hi, I'm Radian, and I play Zanilla, who is a goblin cleric. She's friends with Scrungle. Oh my god, these names, people. And Whack, and she just met Callus and Anansi, so she's kind of excited. And really scared because dead people are walking around. It'll be fun.
I mean, your dead don't walk around? Suspicious. So, with our introductions, it is time for us to dive into our session, pick up where we left off, and, well, it's been a while, so let's get a small recap. Each of you came to our lecture, whether it be by birth, or whether it was for some other reason. But you found yourselves at least somewhat comfortable in the city. Day in, day out. Until something all changed. At the Rest in Resin, there was a surprising development. A familiar bard comes in bloodied, and then dies, only to rise again. Commotions outside were fighting and riots. You managed to save some figures, but at what cost? Some of you taking more physical damage, perhaps paying a heavier toll. But you returned to the Rest in Resin with the survivors. And to recap on our survivors, we have Trelif the Tall, owner and manager of the Rest in Resin, a half-treant. You have Vraga and Draga, the talkative sibling orcs, who work at the tavern, though their normal jovial disposition seems to have been shaken. Wolfrid Iron Tusk, a halfling mercenary who is more often known to drown his sorrows in depression in ale. You have Luthi, a prissy elven noble's daughter, and she is with her friends. Galadren, human man, overconfident and brash. Selin, another human. Regna, a dwarven woman, and Lil, a lovely satyr. Dolana, who's present, potentially, though hard to find, it seems, in this current moment. And one of the figures just saved, Morwender Voluntieri, is Scrungle would be able to recognize. A halfling mage and ranking figure in the Timber Knights Mercenary Guild. Adira is a tiefling acolyte from the church, and one of the figures who seemed to know more than the rest at the start of this was the old gnomish busybody, regular drunker, and rumor monger Lobin Dubinius. Those are all the people who live, that are known and spotted for the most part. Those that have died, Roseni, the bard, and Dufrin, a quirky gnome and the nephew of the proprietor of the gardening shop next to Oaks. When we return to our story, you've all made it inside. You're all sort of taking stock of the current situation. Trelif seems to be acting as the de facto leader in this circumstance. And he turns to you all. Alright, everyone calm down. And he turns, facing Wolfrid. Watch the door. Keep maintenance of the barricade. And keep the noise down. We don't want any more attention of them. As this happens, he then lumbers over to your group. Oh. Thank you for what you've done. Your efforts. You've saved other people here. Don't know how good that will do for us presently, but I know the gods will be watching.
I can't help thinking maybe we've just staved off the inevitable.
Okay, I'm not trying to panic, but did we all see that there were people?
Zombies?
Yes, and they were attacking everybody, and there were a lot of them. And if my memory serves me right, we saw actual normal people turning into zombies by a bite. And do any of you guys remember how long it took? Wasn't that long, right? Oh my gosh.
No. Well, the borrowed, he body was taken into the back room, and I don't know, 20 minutes? Maybe not
God.
even that long.
It really wasn't that long.
This is crazy. Did any of you guys get bit?
My staff did, my python, but I don't think he's real. I hope that's. I think he'll be okay. I don't know.
Boy.
Faye, I would like to turn my back to the group and look at my hand.
Yeah. You turn and you look at your hand and you see the indentations of the teeth where it tore through the skin. There's a bit of blood, but it's not bleeding overly. Could easily be hidden by a wrapping or some placement of your gauntlets or bracers.
I still have full use of my hand.
Currently, you flex your hand and fists. There's a bit of a pull and sting near the open wound, but otherwise it responds as normal.
Cool, I'll just kind of casually turn back around and say nothing.
So what do we do now?
As you ask that question and you look around, you would notice that some of the other survivors here in the Rest in Resin are tending to wounds. Drega, particularly, is focusing on a halfling Timber Knight's guard with a bad gash in her arm. Scrungle, you again recognize who this is. The halfling is Lieutenant Morwender Valenciari.
I've got a herbalism kit, so I'd like to kind of I'd like to go around and try and kind of assist with the healing.
Yeah. Easily able to do so. Just to sort of see any sort of quantification of how many people you can help, why don't you roll for me a medicine check? I'll give you advantage for your herbalism kit.
Okay.
It's a natural 20. That's great.
Only because the other dice hit it over from a 2.
That's why we love advantage.
Yeah.
But we also hate it when it's advantage and it gets knocked from a natural 20 over to a 2 because the other dice hit it. Which has happened before. You're able to start going around, walking, helping, which as you help, as Drega is helping, you would start to notice that other survivors now kind of get into that same mentality of, well, it's just us. And so they start moving in. You even notice that Loban puts down his mug and begins to help as well.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
Do I notice any bites? Has anyone been bitten? Does anybody seem to be hiding anything of the people I'm helping?
From the people that you're helping, no. Most of these people stayed inside, and unless Diffrin had risen again after you had felled him the first time, they don't seem to have had much issues like you had experienced outside. Can I get a perception check from everybody? So Zanilla would hear this, Alice would hear this, and Walk would hear this. It's not a very large area here in the Rest and Resin, and you would overhear where Draga and this guard, who is dressed as Lieutenant Val, are speaking, and the lieutenant is describing her entire unit being overwhelmed. Many of the guards killed, and then the dead climbing back to their feet. And it's described as a nightmare of chasing down their fellows in an never-ending circle.
I'd say after hearing this of maybe really how bad it is out there, Callus would seek out Delana for a private conversation.
All right. I'm going to ask for a investigation check.
That's an 11.
Not seeing Delana out here. You didn't see him outside, so you're sure that he is of a survivor. But you're just not quite sure where he's at. He's not in the main viewing area of the tavern. But
I'd like to perhaps see if there's a sneaky way to look out the window, or or between the slats that because I think we started boarding things up, didn't we?
the front door has been boarded up. Yeah, it's got a barricade on it. And I want to say that you guys barricaded the windows down here as well.
I think we did.
So
But
yeah,
I'm wondering if there's like a chink between them that I can kind of.
I'd say that yeah, it's not like it's a perfect because you guys were doing this fairly quick. So there would be areas where you could try and look beyond. Go ahead. I'd say perception check, please.
Okie doke.
May I do so? No, I would be too busy. Okay.
Okay. With a 15, it's much the same as you saw before. People going feral, covered in blood and wounds, some looking like they should be dead, but running around and attacking others, and it is mayhem. You don't see much survivors that are out there, but you do hear where people are being found. It's chaos.
Do they appear to be heading towards where we are? Like, is there do they? Can I tell if any of them have their attention drawn to us or the building we're in?
Not currently.
Okay.
You do see like a few people, like a few of these creatures kind of stop and sniff the air nearby, but then something else catches their attention. But they don't seem to be swarming this area.
Okay.
The only ones that were the ones that chased you into here, but they're no longer pounding at the door. They seem to have, again, had their information or their attention drawn elsewhere. During all of this, Wilfred does step away for a moment from the barricade at the front door and moves to the back rooms. He doesn't stay in there long, and then when he returns, grim as ever, takes a position back at the door and gives a comment to Trelith in passing. Dufrin and Brazeni will stay dead this time. Gods rest their souls in forgiveness.
Wow. Okay. Okay. This is really happening. This is really happening. What now? Does anybody know what we're supposed to do now?
I'm not sure there's anything we're supposed to do. I
Alice,
don't think.
Yes.
as Zanilla and Walk are speaking of what to be done next, your hand begins to burn. You feel a fever starting from that impact point, and looking, you can see where it is festering. And it is doing so very quickly. You watch as the infection begins to crawl up your hand and towards your arm. You can physically see the turn that is happening here. What do you do, Callus?
I would probably look down at it in a bit of shock and kind of call out to Zanilla and Walk if they could come take a look at something urgently, please.
Yeah, I go over. What's going on?
Of course. What do you need?
I'll just pull up my sleeve.
At this point, the infection has reached midway through the forearm and is again making its way up towards the elbow and shoulder region at a quick pace.
We need to cut it off.
Cut it off?
Cut it off!
Which arm is this, Faye?
What is your primary arm? Because this was the one that was holding your weapon.
I have two weapons.
This was you had taken an attack at something and it bit the hand that you were holding your weapon in.
I would say Callus is right-handed,
Okay.
but he was using two-weapon fighting, so I don't know. I can roll a D2.
Why don't you roll me a D100? Why don't we make the odds a little bit more?
Exactly the same.
Well, I mean, there's still like the odds, yes, but like you have a larger width of numbers. An 81. All right, we'll say that this is your left hand.
All right.
I take out my dagger and I go, what the fuck? I toss it away. Oh, sorry. I go, Scrungle, I could use your sword. I could use your sword, please.
Oh, yeah, sure, of course. I'll hand over my greatsword.
Great. I'm gonna go ahead and jump on top of Callus and hold him down, and I'm gonna say, cut
So,
off his arm.
Now is not the time for that, Zilla.
Callus, would you be trying to think of things besides dismemberment to help your current situation, or are you on board with this?
He's probably in shock and would defer to people that know more. If he thinks it's gonna stop it, he's gonna try and convince himself mentally that this will make him cooler.
Okay. So, Scrungle, as you draw your greatsword and are coming over, you would also see the infection as it's starting to grow. It is like right near the elbow at this point.
Oh. You're in a bit of a pickle, right? That's,
Chop it. Chop it now.
Chop it.
Yes. We do. If we wait much longer, this infection is going to spread. We've got to cut it.
Is there no other way?
Get on with it then.
Scrungle, if you would like to roll a, I would say a insight check here to see if there's any other way.
Can I roll a medicine check?
An 18, Scrungle. cutting could work. It would stop this before it reaches the rest of the body. You could, if you have any sort of magical capabilities that cure diseases, might be able to assist as well.
Does it count as food? If I was a cannibal, would purify food and drink work? Because I could, in theory, eat him, right?
I would say if Callus was no longer living, sure. If he was a corpse, that could be considered food. But unfortunately, he is a creature currently, not an object.
Currently.
Currently.
For now.
Callus, either we cut it off or I go ask to general public if anybody has a way to deal with this. That may create a panic. They may kill you. But what do you want me? What do you want us to do?
Well, do you know anything?
I unfortunately don't.
You're
I
the
can
magic
sense the
one.
blood. I'm a lowly acolyte. I can patch you up after we cut it off, but that's the best I can do.
There's no magic for disease? Nothing like that?
No, I'm not a paladin.
Nope.
You asked that out loud.
Yeah, I think at this point my voice has now gone up like, you know, a pitch higher because I'm panicking.
Okay, while we're waiting, I'm like, because we're delaying about this, I'm going to take off basically anything that I can use to make a tourniquet to
Sure.
try and tie it round the sort of the top of his arm to
Yeah.
stop the blood spreading any further up.
Yeah, go ahead,
Try-
give me a medicine
try
check to
some more time.
see how well you do that.
And I yell out, "Does anybody know how to cure disease?"
Well, I was going to get to that, but sure.
Oh, sorry.
No,
Sorry,
you're good.
Sorry.
You're fine. That's why I was asking certain questions. But so as Walk is doing that, Adira, the other acolyte, nearby, sort of comes forward. I could help, but I have only limited magical resources.
What do you need?
Well, if I help Kalish, I might not be able to do it again for anyone else.
Well, we'll just have to not get bit then.
Yeah.
I don't think it's worth saving for a what if.
Roll a persuasion check.
Me. Oh. That's surprisingly better than I thought it would be with a -1.
Okay. And so she will use a lesser restoration.
I wish I'd picked that spell. Oh, actually I did, but I don't have level 2 spell slot left.
That's amazing.
Do
So,
I have anything to... Sorry, go ahead.
Kalish, you no
Yes.
longer have an infection, but you do have a nasty little scar on your hand.
Well,
What makes a mental note to start thinking of everyone else's food?
I'll kind of look at my arm and my hand. Yeah. I think that did it.
Thank God. I just could go in and sit down on the floor with my legs spread out.
Now make a note that Adira has used the spell.
Scrungle will put the great sword away, looking the tiniest bit sad.
Callus will wink at Scrungle.
I'm gonna go and try and
Steps
find a
back.
bottle of whiskey. Or Andy or some kind of spirit.
You would notice at this point that the others of the tavern have taken note of the situation, have realized a bit of panic, and are watching. There's a wariness, any sort of concern there. As if they're waiting to see what is next. If one of you will turn.
Everything's good over here now. We're all fine.
Roll a persuasion check, please.
Or the 12.
There's a few hesitant nods. You don't know if they entirely believe you.
All right, well, I've lost the crowd, I think.
Yeah, but you kept the arm. Sorry
Eh,
about, suggesting we cut it off.
No, I think that would have probably been the choice.
Yep. But now that I saw what Adira did, I'll be able to do it, when I'm not so spent. Not that that's a suggestion that you guys get bit.
No, I think we should avoid that.
Is it safe for us to rest?
I
think-
hope so.
I think maybe if we keep people on watch, that's a good idea, Scrungle.
Before you take rest, Trelith nearby comes over. I ask that you help survey the area. We need to find out how dire the situation is. You can head up to the second floor, use the windows, could even climb to the roof if you think that it would be better.
Oh, yeah, we can do that. Doesn't Goblin have something?
Pointy ears?
Well,
Big
yeah.
nose?
And nimble escape. So, oh no, that's not gonna help us. But we're nimble. Yeah, I'll go up second floor and help out.
So, while that's happening, you would hear where Adira begins a prayer. But as solemn as her prayer is, you can still hear the screams outside and the shouts and howls of the undead. And you make your way upstairs. You would also notice Trelith working with Braga as they begin to catalog their resources in case that you are stuck here overnight. So maybe even longer. So, do you attempt to make it to the roof, or do you use windows?
Gallus would go for the roof. He's run across a rooftop or two in his day.
Okay. Easily enough done. The windows upstairs, you hadn't been upstairs before, aren't barred, so you're easily able to open it and climb out, get onto the roof. Struggle, Zanilla, walk.
I want to keep an eye on Callus, because although he has been healed, he didn't tell us, he potentially didn't tell us straight away. So I'm still not convinced 100% that he's okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to follow Callus, but if it requires lots of athleticsy long boy climbing, I'm only a short boy, so we'll just let him go ahead.
So you stick to the windows as he goes up to the roof but stay nearby?
Yeah, unless there's like a ladder up to the roof.
No ladder to the roof. Uh,
then he can. If it involves climbing up there, I don't think I can do that.
okay, no worries. So, then, Anansi is also sticking to the windows. Zanella, Scrungle,
At windows.
windows.
Scrungle will probably, like, sort of go back and forth, climbing up and down and just, passing information along if we're going to be there a long time.
Yeah, no worries. So,
Hmm.
what you all get just by looking out and seeing is that the main street outside the tavern is overrun with undead, which Walk you had noticed before downstairs, but now you have a more clear visual. You see most shops and doors, not shops and doors, most shops and stores have barricaded their doors. But those that have not, you see, have broken down doors. There are fires, several of the buildings burn, and bodies litter the roads. And I would like for everyone to roll for me a perception check. So, Callus, Scrungle, Sanilla. You do not see any official organized presence in this area. It seems that you have been left on your own. And, while you're looking out, you would notice, however, all of you, another figure. A little bit higher up in the elevation. The butcher and meat merchant, who is a neighbor to the Reston resin. Menrin Yartson. He is also looking out over the area and catches your eye. Doing all right over there.
How far away is he?
The two shops are like neighboring, so like they share a wall. So he's on his roof, and you guys are on yours. So he's not terribly far.
Still in one piece.
Well, I understand that. He's talking at a normal level, so that way the voice carries over, but isn't like screaming, so that way he doesn't catch too much attention. So it's not terribly too much louder than the area. How many survivors on your side?
Did you say a dozen?
Yeah, a
Two
dozen or
dozen?
more.
Well, sounds like you've got a bit of a handful on your side. Got any guards in yours?
Yeah, we've got a lieutenant downstairs.
Mostly, refugees in mine are guards. Told me, the rest of the major mercenaries have been overwhelmed, and even worse, leadership was overrun. There was early fighting near the Dirty Penny. Not only that, the baronial guard, they was stationed at Prince's Throne, near the palace. It's barricaded its doors shut when the mobs of undead first surged out of the Dirty Penny. No one's gone in or out of the palace since then.
Just like the upper class to shut everyone else out and not help them, am I right?
Could say that. Well, at least it's not just the upper class from what I've heard. There's no word from outside the city as well. No word on the election army. No idea of any soldiers who will come to the aid of the city. Anyone who would like to roll a history check here? Callus, Scrungle, and Anansi know that the Arlechian army is stationed outside the city. It typically patrols the province for monstrous threats or invasive barbarian tribes. Very rarely will there be any assignments inside the city for them.
The army may be more of a containment resource at this point.
Well, can't say, I don't understand. But, well, if, you tell Trilith, that if, or Trilith, that if you or any of the survivors need food, got some plank boards we could cross through the buildings, but I want to try and keep that to the worst cases. As he looks to the small space between. It's a small alleyway, and there are undead that kind of move through. It's not quite a full shared wall, but close enough.
We'll let him know. Was that tree lift thing a joke?
Yeah. His mother's bark is worse than her bite.
Oh! Okay, that's outstanding.
Oh.
This here is the hope of our lecha.
Well, I mean, you guys know that he's half treant, so...
Yeah.
I know, that's why it's funny.
Yeah, outstanding in his field.
Oh my god. Okay. It's great.
There doesn't seem to be much more information that you can gather about the current situation, so you can head back to talk to Trelith.
Before we go inside, what are the undead doing now that there's nothing else to target? Are they just kind of meandering about? Are they a little more dormant?
There are ones that are feasting on the bodies, even if they aren't alive. They are eating those that are scattered in the grounds. Others are searching out for anything that they can find. If there are hiders, sort of like how you had found the lieutenant underneath the cart. Others just kind of wait around, sort of keeping an idea. They move a bit to get different sort of vantage points if there's other interesting things to find, but there's still a horde of undead in this area. They don't seem to move on when everything goes quiet.
From a mostly concealed position, can I try and shoot one with my short bow from this vantage point?
Sure. Give me an attack roll, please.
A 19.
19. Yeah, that'll hit. Roll some damage, please.
That's a big 6.
Alright, I'll give you sneak attack since it doesn't know that you're there.
11 total.
You watch as your arrow draws back and releases, flies true, and it impacts this figure right in the jaw and into the neck. And you see where its head still turns, and it's looking around to see where the source of the impact was. That would have killed any normal man. This thing still stands.
Alright, well, there goes 5% of my arrows. Cool, I'll sneak back inside now that I've got some answers.
So, when you return inside, for those of you who are on the roof, when all of you can return downstairs, you see Trelith, Vraga, and Wolfrid, each with grim expressions. But before you can ask perhaps what is on their mind, Trelith, any news from what you've learned upstairs?
There we have neighbors, survivors, neighbors. The butcher man. He actually talked to Callus. I let him talk.
Menrin, he's alive over there. He says he's got supplies if we need it.
It's good. It's good to know. We may need to take him up on that offer. With how many people we have here at the tavern, our non-perishable food will likely not last us the week. If we ration, we may make it 2 weeks at most.
2 weeks? Oh my god. Are we to stay here for 2 weeks?
If there's no way to travel outside without having ourselves killed, we might.
We'll take it a day as we come, my dear. Nothing else we can do, right?
Well, about that, Wilfred will say. I'm concerned that while we may have enough food for that amount of time, a barricade won't last. Not against the push of the numerous undead. So far, we've been lucky. Only small numbers seem to be interested. I wouldn't say more than 10 have tried to break in, but if they come up at us with what you've seen in the roads, turns to Trelith. Sturdy as your short days, this is no fortress. Need to be thinking about getting out. Finding someplace more like a guard post.
Scrungle, you've got a good knowledge of this kind of thing. Where's the nearest guard post to here?
Where's the nearest guard post to here? Say.
Just across the street?
It is not just across the street. At this
Dang
point,
it!
At this point, however, Galantrin, as well as his group, come forward, head held high, chest outward, and this has been secretive enough. As the ranking noble present, and as the son of a major in the prince's army, I should be informed and allowed to advise on our next courses of action. Anyone who would like to roll an insight check here may do so.
Don't think I need to roll an insight check to see the dick.
I told you he was brash. And overconfident. Calluses makes perfect sense to you. But Walk with a 23.
Yeah.
You sense that Gallandren is very uncomfortable with asserting himself. More than likely he's been put up to it by his friends. This is kind of that overconfidence coming through. Fake it till you make it.
There's no intentional secrecy here. None of us have any experience in this, and I would take a punt in the dark to say you don't have a lot of experience of zombies either. But if you have any ideas, this is uncharted territory for all of us.
Roll me a persuasion check, please, Walk, if you would.
Persuasion, because he's not great at that.
You would notice that as you because of your amazing insight, you saw that Galendrin seemed almost relieved when you were like, there's no intentional secrecy, you don't have to worry about this. But then you open up the floor for any of his ideas, and then he starts to get like that sort of flush of embarrassment and nervousness again, a little bit of sweat starting to come to the temples and forehead. Well, we can't stay here. This is no place for someone like us. As he says this, Luthi, the elven figure, well, perhaps that we let them handle this situation. They've been doing really well so far. And perhaps if you can just give some information on the plan, maybe we'll ease some of Galendrin's worries. And she looks to your group.
You doubt it, I say under my breath.
Look, everybody, this is, as far as I can tell, nobody has experience in this. However, there are some people who are experienced in other things. We have limited supplies, and we can't stay here forever. And we need somewhere a little bit more secure. I think we go ahead and look to these three, and then those three, to kind of, point the directions and lead the way. And of course, just because they say we should do this doesn't mean that you guys have to. But I think we'll probably have a better chance of surviving if we stick together. All right?
In a bit of irony, as Zanilla, you are speaking to Galensred and Luthi about sticking together. And two others of the friend group move away. And it's easily enough to understand. You're in a cramped space in a stressful situation. Some people need time for themselves. But Selene and Lil sneak away to the upstairs. See if they can get a view for themselves of what is going on outside. And as they sneak away, we're going to take our first ad break here. So, stick around with us. We will be right back to continue our story, see what sort of craziness is happening on in the streets of Alecha. But before we head out, I do just ask that you let the ads run. Ads are a huge part of how we keep our games affordable here at Wildewitch RP. You can turn down the volume, but please don't mute them or leave us. If you would like to help us directly, you can make a donation to my Ko-fi. There's a link for that on screen. Ko-fi donations not only help support us at Wildewitch RP, they also unlock awesome perks for our entire community that benefit everyone who plays with us for the next month. These perks include special companions, double treasure, double XP, and even new quests. So, stick around with us. We'll be right back. Alrighty, we are back in action, and I am terribly sorry about the cameras. That should be fixed soon. But as we are returning, Galendrin came up and was demanding information. Bit of conversation may have calmed him down, but you still have the quote-unquote leaders of this situation, Trelif, Wolfraid, and Vraga, who are trying to keep the public a little more calm and organized here. And as this happens, look, Wilfred says, I think that we should prepare for move. We want to gather our supplies and food. We want to put them into packs. We want to move them upstairs. That way, if they do get through that barricade, we can retreat. Hold them there, and you mentioned that Menrin's got a way to get over. You said.
Okay. Okay, that sounds good.
That's sensible, yeah.
At this point, Adira comes over, the tiefling acolyte, and I saw that you all were speaking, and I overheard plans for contingencies. I used a scroll of sending to contact my mentor at the cathedral, and the Cathedral of the Divines is safe. It's secured. There are several dozen guards from various mercenary groups, and civilians and other visitors are there.
Did
How
they?
far is the
No, go on, Zanella.
how far is it from where we are?
It'd be a considerable walk, but I mean, because like it's not like right next door. You'd be walking through different
And how
district.
how many of us total, and how many cannot walk because of their injuries?
No one seems to have grievous injuries that prevent them from travel. But you do have a hefty group. You've got Trelif, Raga, Drega, Wolfred, Luthi, Galendrin, Selin, Regna, Lil. So that's already 9. You've got Morwender, Tan, Adira, Lobing, Delana, and Anansi's father. I don't have it written down. So that's
15 plus us 5, so that's 20.
yeah. So you've got a group.
And then we also want to let the next door group know that that's what we're doing, especially if there are more mercenaries over there. Better. Wow, that's a large group to move.
Trelif, having heard this, turns to your group. We should work on organizing a party that would be able to sneak through. And I suggest that you all lead that organization. You've done well enough already, but I'll remain here, and I'll stick with anyone who does not wish to make the journey. Vraga nods. That's a good plan, and I can tell you of a route, one through the House of Coins, an old delivery that me and Drego would take that goes by the graveyards. It's on the southeastern edges of the coins, and it leads right to the courtyards of the cathedral.
All right. How long? Like, how far is the entrance to the room?
Um, it, it was a few minutes, maybe 20 or so when me and Drago you walk in it, but those were different times. And, uh, as the discussion downstairs is happening, our view shifts. On the roof, Selen and Lil see several figures. They look to be guards, and are walking slowly down the road, staring into shops, looking for survivors. And the two share a look with each other before trying to get their attention. Hey! Hey! Over here! And with that, we come back down to the main floor. Some of the patrons who have overheard the conversation are starting to gather supplies to begin to wrap them in bags. But what are you guys doing? Do you continue the conversation with Vraga and Wolfrave and Trelith? Or do you also start the process of a eventual move?
I would start help gathering supplies too for the move.
I think we need a plan. So, character. We think we need a plan. It's all very well bagging stuff up, but we don't have a feasible way to go yet. So either we send a small group to scout out a route and come back and lead people on. Or we try and all move together, or we almost do it in sections, maybe, like identify different waypoints, do each bit separately. I don't know.
I'll tell you right now, trying to move a group this size is going to be impossible.
I think you're right.
Groups. Small groups is going to be our best bet.
Do you think it's better to move under the cover of darkness? Do you reckon it's right to see how the zombies react to the daylight? Because it's obviously night now.
Well, it's evening. You met at morning or at late afternoon, so it's now moving into evening. And there are several shops that are burning, so we won't really have a full darkness, at least not in this area.
Well, I know this. We're not going anywhere tonight. There's way too much activity right outside our front door.
That sounds... yes. Absolutely.
Meanwhile, up on the roof, Selen, who is frustrated that the guards have not heard, raises his voice. Hey! The attention is caught. And when the man turns to face towards the tavern, Selen and Lil see that he is undead. He howls in fury, races towards the tavern, his cohorts following quickly, drawing the attention of many more undead in the area. Panicking, Selen turns to run. But he slips off the roof and crashes down outside the front door, And you all hear a scream from Lil as she watches the undead pile onto Selin, devouring him alive. And you then hear pounding against the door, against the barricade. They are trying to break in. I would like everyone to roll for me a perception or investigation check. Alright, you all would spot that the barricade is already starting to break inward. Several survivors begin to retreat away from it, rather than trying to reinforce it, alongside Wolfrid. Gallandren picks up a heavy board, and he steps forward, hesitant, but then throws it down. He makes a run for a side door, but you watch as it crashes inward, and an undead tackles him to the floor. Luthi screams, tries to rush forward. Trellick grabs her and shoves her back to Vraga and Drega. Do you do anything here? You have moments. One door is already open. The other, the quickly amassing horde, will break through the barricade, crashing into the shop in large numbers.
I shout, "Wriggle time!" and I throw my staff on the floor. Wriggle time! Staff the python. Towards the door that's busted in.
Okay.
I hope to God the python is not also now a zombie python.
Your python seems normal.
Look.
So there are 3 zombies that seem to come through that area. One, of course, is immediately on Gallandren. The other are coming towards to help devour him. You can fight them off. You could try and gather survivors. Hold them steady, or
Can I, coming out of the kitchen or the storage room or whichever, I'm gonna go ahead and yell at the non-fighting survivors to go upstairs, and I would like to go ahead and try to get them off of who, and go in with Gwen. Bye.
So you're going to approach the zombies and try and fight them off?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Trying to give the others time to go upstairs.
Okay. So anyone who's going to be fighting the zombies, I'm going to ask for an initiative. Actually, I'm going to ask for an initiative from everybody, because while there will be combat, we can give some time to the others in an orderly fashion.
I think this might be the distraction we need to get out of here. It's the best we're going to get, I guess. That sounded much more calm than he is.
Well, if we got a group at the front door and group at the side door, is
At
there
the
a
top?
back door that people can get out of?
I thought we could go roof to roof.
The safest way out would probably be from Menrin. Remember, he had the planks that could go across that he offered?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which was what the plan was before whatever
The
happened here.
Hellbrook roofs.
Yep.
Before those two turned out to be giant gimmers.
They're
Oh, you knew
nobles.
that was gonna happen.
What did you expect out of them?
Oh, push. You fell? Sorry.
Well,
I'm not at all sad.
he did fall off, and she was
I'm
distraught
talking
by
about
it.
the other one. Yeah. Sorry. People do weird things when they're scared, but whatever.
So, Zanilla,
Yes.
you approach. There are 3 zombies that are currently devouring a figure. He does not seem to be in good health, and probably, even if he was, would be turning very quickly. He has a few bites already. What would you like to do?
Oh, crap. Question. I'm sorry. I thought it was the tavern keeper or one of the 3, because the names get me confused, that were being attacked. Is it not?
No, it's Galendrin. He was the noble that stepped up.
Oh, the idiot. Okay.
The one that was put up by his friends.
Okay. So if I notice that he's got bites all over and he's already whatever.
I mean, he's got
I
one
don't
that's
wanna-
like eating his face.
Yeah, I don't want to go up. Ooh, do I want to go up? How far is the stairs from where I am? And are the other people like running up?
Well, you just called for them because you rushed
Yeah, I
forward,
just
called
called
for
for them to
them,
go up.
and
Okay.
so now that you're seeing this a little bit closer,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
this
What I would like to do is, I have a light crossbow. I would like to shoot at the one that's eating the face.
okay.
I'm assuming 9 misses.
A 9 will hit.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh my god. That is 3 points of damage. That is end of my turn.
You hear a sort of howling screech as this creature, tearing the flesh up, jaw dropping, looks at you, Zanilla, knowing that you were the one that struck it. Anansi, you see this as well. What would you like to do?
I'm by the stairs. I'm ready to like usher people up the stairs if they're being called this way. And as they're coming, I'm keeping an eye on the situation and also just intently looking at each face that passes me.
Okay. Is there any skill or action specifically that you would like to take?
I mean, I'm not trying to fight
I mean, you can take
at this present moment.
You can always take the dodge action, so that way if something does come towards you, it's harder to hit you.
You're so right. I'm kind of out of it right now. I will take the dodge action.
Sounds good. With that, Walk, it is your turn. Your snake is out near those 3 zombies that have broken in on the side door.
So I'm gonna Wriggler, wrap him up. I can just tell him what to do. It's not a bonus action, and then I am going to cast Chill Touch on the on the one who's biting the face is still there, right?
Yes.
Okay, I will cast Chill Touch on Mr. Bitey Face. 16.
16 hits.
4 necrotic, and they have disadvantage on attack rolls against me until the end of my next turn.
Beautiful.
And as a bonus action, although I'm not actually doing it, I'm gonna cast Shillelagh on my quarterstaff in case I, need it.
In case something happens. Yeah, we're all about preparation here.
Yeah. In case I need to smack a person. And now it is Snake. It's
Yep.
Wriggler's turn.
Let's go Wriggler.
Go Wriggler. Okay, so Constrict is a +6 to hit. 16.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, 2d8 + 4. 7 + 4 is 11 bludgeoning damage, and the target is grappled. He's going to go for not bitey face for one of the other ones who's trying to get through the door.
Sounds good.
Because I'm hoping that the grapple is going to stop more people being able to get in. Because, hold on, how? The constrictor snake is huge. How much of this room is it taking up?
Probably not so much, because it's huge
Okay,
because of the
fine.
fact that it's, like, longer than your normal humanoid.
Yeah, that's fine then.
And
yeah,
so if it's
that's-
wrapped around someone, it probably just makes them large.
That's fine then. Yeah, and that's the end of Rigler's turn.
Alright, Callus, what are you doing?
Callus is probably a little bit nervous with the whole hand thing from earlier, so he'd probably be hanging back by the stairs, also hearing the commotion that happened above/outside. So he's going to shoot at the closest one with his short bow.
Yeah, go for it. "13 hits. Alrighty. So, closest one is our Face Eater.
Now, is the Faith Eater's target incapacitated?
Oh, yeah.
Alright, no sneak attack then.
Unfortunately. But it is now our zombies go. And we've got the Face Eater who's going to now rush for Zanilla. That is a 10 to hit.
Miss.
We've got the others that are going to go for Wriggler. That is a 19.
Yeah, that hits Wriggler.
That will be 6 points of bludgeoning damage, and then because this one that ran towards Wriggler got a hit, its bonus action can bite. With a 12 to hit.
That hits.
That is 5 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And then the one inside the regular grasp, that is a natural 1 to hit, so
That does not hit Wriggler.
so there's an attempt to bite down, but unfortunately unable to quite get a hold. More banging against the barrier doorway. You can hear the creaks, some wood snapping. Zanilla, it's your turn. There's a zombie right in front of you. Oh, I can't hear Zanilla.
Oh, that's because I'm being an idiot. Can I go ahead and hit the one that's in front of me with Gwen?
You can try.
That is go 11 to hit.
An 11 will hit.
That is total of 3 points of damage.
Okay.
And that is the end of my turn.
With that, Anansi, we come to your turn. There have been some people that have been running upstairs. There's still more people that are downstairs. There's fighting. What are you doing?
I'm gonna continue with the dodge action, continuing to, point people in the right direction, watching
Okay.
every face that passes.
Still don't see any sign of him.
Yeah.
Alright. It is Walk's turn.
Okay, I'm gonna do exactly the same as last time. Say, keep on him. Keep on him, Wriggler. Good job. And then I will cast Chill Touch on the one who tried to bite Wriggler. Which is 13.
13 will hit.
Okay. They'll take 1 necrotic damage and have disadvantage on their next attack. That is the end of my turn.
Okay.
But now it's Wriggler. +6 to attack. 16.
16 will hit for sure.
He's gonna keep constricting because I think he kind of has to. That makes sense. +4, 8 bludgeoning, and they are still restrained.
Sounds good.
End of our goes.
All right. Callus, we come to your turn.
All right, from my position near the stairs, I'll shoot again at the closest one.
An 8 will just hit.
Just hit. Wow.
They don't have armor. Well, some of them don't have armor. Most of
Max
these.
damage for 9.
Zanilla is also right near this figure, so you can get sneak attack.
That's 10 more for 19.
Oh yeah. So that would make that one zombie sort of twitching on the ground.
That's it.
We've got the others that are focusing on Wriggler.
Ooh.
That is a 15 to hit.
Yep.
6 bludgeoning, and because that one struck, another bite. It's another 15 to hit.
Yep.
And that will be 3 points of piercing damage.
Yep.
And the one that's restrained gets a 16 to hit
Yep.
for 6 points of bludgeoning.
Okay.
And then he gets to do his bite attack with a 12 to hit.
Yep.
And that is going to be 6 points of piercing damage.
Wriggler is now bloodied.
Okay. Oof. At the end of our zombie's turn, there's more battering against the barricade, which begins now. You can see banged inward, breaking. Wolfraid, who has been trying to hold it back, now gives up on it. He joins the others that retreat to the hallways. And Trelif, everyone up! And he takes his table that he's been using, and begins to corral you all towards the stairs. I'm going to ask for everyone to make me an athletics check to race towards the stairs.
Do I need to roll one for Wriggler?
Yes, please.
Athletics is just strength, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay. I get a +4 to strength. Oh,
You
9.
don't see that thing.
I do see it.
No, you don't.
Do you want me to make the sound?
No.
I do.
Damn it.
So. You're rushing towards the stairs. Walk. You are you hear the order, and, well, what immediately goes through your mind is, if you don't make it out of here, your no-good nephew is going to run the shop for the rest of its existence. Really can't have that.
You've never seen a goblin move so fast. Oh, hold on. I've got inspiration. Can I give it to Zanilla? I know it's a bit late, but I've just realised.
In the future, yes. But because all roles have kind of gone through.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. But
And we did the sound.
yeah. But yes, no. For future reference, you can gift your inspiration to other players at the table and have them roll with advantage. So Walk gets up first. Anansi, you scan the crowd here, and none of the faces here are him. If he's not here, you have to get out of here, because maybe he did too. Maybe you're somewhere else. So, you're upstairs. Callus, you're worried about the flare-up in your hand. Keep remembering that. So much so that a snake outruns you to get up the stairs. And
Wriggle time! And I'll take him back as a staff.
yeah, so as Wriggler gets back up to where you are, Walk, command word, back into staff, running upstairs, and it is Zanilla. As you stumble up, you trip at the doorway. Wolfrid stumbling over top of you. Trelith is bringing up the rear, but from where you stand on the or where you've fallen on the ground and where you're able to see everything as you're trying to scramble back up, you see the moment the barricade shatters. Dozens of undead charging through, toppling over each other, scrambling to get in. Trelith pulls you upwards very harshly and pushes you forward with Wolfraid and says, "Get as many as you can to safety," as he drags the table from behind him to in front of him, cutting you off and cutting off the undead as he goes to fight them. Moments of action, moments of heavy breathing, as you all find yourself upstairs. You're on the second floor. The roaring horde of undead you can hear amassing below, clamoring against the momentary barricade. "It won't hold," Wilfred says. He throws open one of the windows and makes for the roof.
Yeah, everybody up.
Wilfred will help anyone get up onto the roof that would normally struggle. But as you all amass on top of the roof and you see the carnage below on the streets, some of the survivors, this is really their first true view at Adrian, are horrified, shocked. You know that you need Menrin's help to construct the plank bridge. But you don't see Menrin on his roof. And you would notice all the lights in his shop are closed, or not closed, are off. Dark.
Is the plank still there?
No, he said that he had the planks and could help build it.
Oh,
How
right.
How far exactly is the gap between the two buildings?
About 10, 12 feet.
Okay.
I mean, could we use regular as a bridge? I mean, he's pretty strong. Would that work?
Could I get a running start and jump across?
Sure.
I will. Would you like my inspiration? Because I'd like you not to fall and die.
Yeah, I don't want that either. I'm quickly figuring this out.
Yeah, long jump. When you make a 10 feet of running jump, you can run up to your strength score.
How far is the gap?
10, 12 feet.
Well, oh, my strength score is 10. So yeah, I can get 10 feet if I get a running start.
If you stand on the edge, I could thunderwave you and shoot you across.
That would hurt a little bit.
Get to the other side, though.
Yeah, I'd rather keep all of my my health as long as I can, though. So I'm gonna get as far back as I can and just run and jump across.
Can I be calling out for Menrin?
You could be calling out for Menrin.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do, but I don't want to be loud about it.
If you would like to roll a persuasion or intimidation, however you would like your voice to go find Menrin, you could do so.
Menrin, get up here! Now!
I think he's doing exactly what I'd do. Hide, pretend I'm not there.
So, as you call out Callus for Menrin, there seems to be no answer, and I would like for Anansi to make me an athletics check here.
Yeah. Oh, it's good. 17.
For the jump across, you are able to get there. Mostly, you are struggling to nail the landing. It's just a little too far for you, but with a 17, you're able to grab hold of the side and pull yourself up.
Great. As soon as I get up on the roof, I'm getting to a window and knocking. Not terribly loud, but enough to get attention of whoever's inside.
Roll for me persuasion or intimidation, however you'd like to come off.
Um,
Yoo-hoo, meat boy.
you.
So, as you are knocking on the window, I would like everyone to roll for me perception checks, please.
Okay. I'm perceptive as all heck today.
Alrighty. It is Walk and Kalish, that spot this. The undead on the street below seem to hear not just the knocking, but perhaps also the call for Menrin's attention. There are figures that begin to shamble into the alleyway and try and look up as if they're trying to figure a way into your proximity.
Awesome. Shh.
And as the knocking continues, Anansi, you would see inside there is movement, and eventually Menrin will come to will come to the window, and as it opens, what?
Our barricade has fallen. We need help. We need a bridge across.
As he looks outside, catches just a glimpse of what's going on, you can see the realization of danger in his face. Nods and begins to work on setting the plank bridge. Now that the plank bridge is set across, everyone who's on the other side trying to cross over the bridge, please make for me a acrobatics check. And are any of you wearing or carrying supplies?
I am.
Zanilla,
Yeah.
I need you to make... Anyone who's carrying supplies needs to make the roll at disadvantage.
Okay. 13 then.
13.
21 for me.
Callus and Zanilla make it across. Just roll for how our survivors are doing. Zanilla. You hear the plank crack just a little
Oh
bit.
god.
As you are moving under, you can feel where it shifts under the weight of the supplies that you are carrying. It doesn't snap. You're still able to cross over, but it probably is not meant to hold this much weight.
Hey, you saying Waka's fat?
No, but you're carrying supplies.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If I was telling you your character would be fat, you'd have more zombies coming after you.
Well, then I would be food. I'll purify
Cardio.
myself.
Yeah.
Cardio's rule number one.
Cardio's rule number one. Someone's watched it. So, our group of survivors is trying to cross as well. And a lot of them have supplies, too. A handful of them make it over fine. But one of them is, as the supplies are coming, you hear the snap, and right at the edge, that crack begins to buckle. And who is this? Let's roll for it.
Somebody not important.
Everyone's named that's coming with you.
You did that on purpose.
Actions,
It's like you
consequences.
naming. It's like naming the lobster at the seafood restaurant.
Fingers crossed it's the other one who got up on the roof and alerted these Fanjangos to us.
Vraga is the last one out of this group that was carrying supplies. And it is the one that I need, if anyone would be trying to save Vraga, to make me
Yeah,
a
yeah,
strength
yeah.
saving throw here.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, 16 isn't bad.
15 is also not bad.
That's an at 20.
Yes.
So, the
Let's
three
throw
of
that in.
you dive forward to try and grab hold of Vraga. You manage to do so. However, the plank bridge is lost, and so too were the supplies that she was holding. But at least she is not drowned in the horde of undead that are now amassing. You pull her up onto the roof of the butcher shop, and you are now able to make your way down. And you would see now that there are still others on the other side.
Oh no, how many?
You see Luffy and her 3 remaining friends, as well as Wilfred, as the nobles are trying to find a place to hide. And Wilfred is now trying to bring them out to safety.
Wilfred is the one we like, right?
Wilfred was the one that was
With
down.
the table.
No, that was Trelliff with the table. Wilfred was the one that was with the barricade. He's the one that is the drunkard mercenary.
Okay.
So he has some good knowledge, but
Can I ask the butcher if he has another plank?
oh, I had that one.
Ah, crap.
I've
Can
got
you
a
guys try to
rope.
jump over?
I've got a rope. We could try and get the other end over to you, and then at least we've got a backup if you fall. I don't know.
Yeah.
Look, the rope, if that's what we've got, Wilfred will say as he gets over. I'll hold it off, get these ones across, and then I'll make my way over.
Okay.
Right. I don't really know if I can throw this 10 feet. Is anyone stronger, more athletic than me?
I mean, I can try, but
If you tie it to an arrow or a crossbow bolt.
yeah. I turn over to Mr. Shortbow.
Sure, I can fire it across.
I'll give him my 50-foot rope.
I'll
So-
tie it off and fire away.
Go ahead.
Oh, I hold the other end.
Well, it's only a 10-foot distance. You're not gonna.
Yeah.
lose. But yeah, go ahead. Make a regular attack roll with your short bow just to see if it goes across fine. Yeah, it thuds into the other side, where Wilfred is able to grab it, untie the rope. I'll make sure this gets back to you. And,
Thanks. I would like it back.
as he holds onto the rope, he motions over for Luffy, Regna, Lil, and who's the other one? I can't remember the other one, but
Lil should be alright. Satyrs have got a great jump.
as they make their way over, Regna seems to be holding on to a set of supplies. She doesn't seem to be wanting to put that down as she's trying to come over, but you would notice that it's making it difficult for her to get across. And as she is trying to move it to get over, to grab onto the side of the roof where you're at, she's not athletic. And you can see the fear and the hesitation as she tries to let go enough of the rope to pull herself up onto the next roof, which ends up with her this. Ooh, it's a bad roll. Losing most all of her grip except for one hand. The supplies go tumbling down, and you can see that amongst some of the supplies are a bit of coin as well. And she's holding on by one hand the rope is moving wildly from the shift, and her grip is looking like it's starting to fail.
Ooh,
How-
I'm holding on to the other end of the rope, so can somebody help?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll run
I'm
over
gonna-
and help.
Yeah, me
Alright.
too.
Strength checks, please.
Checks.
Yeah.
Cool, cool.
Ugh, it's
Oh.
not great.
Natural 20. What was that walk got?
8.
An 8. Okay. Walk, you're trying to help stabilize the rope to pull it over when Anansi just sort of step over onto the side ledge, reach out and pull and then tumble over. And Regna is safe. Luthi is safe. Lil, it is Wolfred, and as Wolfred is throwing the rope over on the other side, moving back to get a running start, it's when the door on the other side of the game opens once more. Out crashes all sorts of undead swarming onto the roof just as Wolfred is beginning his run.
Please, 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 please.
He makes
Sorry, go ahead.
he makes it to the edge and leaps outward. And
We go to our red room?
this is where we are coming to our next ad break. So,
Absolute melon.
before we head out here, I do just want to say a quick, please let the ads run. They're really important to us here. They help us keep our games affordable. But if you want to help us more directly, you can always make a donation to my Ko-fi. Link for that is on screen. Ko-fi donations not only help support us at Wildewitch RP, they also unlock awesome perks for our entire community that benefit everyone who played with us for the next month. These perks include special companions, double XP, double treasure, and even new quests. So, stick around with us. We'll be right back. We'll see if Wolfred makes it across, and what else is happening here in Arlecha, but that'll all come when we return. So, we'll be right back. As we return, Wolfred was in midair, mid-leap, as a horde of undead swarm over to the edge of the roof. And as his trajectory begins to decline, comes closer to the ground, he rolls onto the roof of the meat shop. You can see the training of a fighter in him, though there's still a bit of a slopiness from his normal drunken state. But at least he's made it across, meaning that all of you are now safe. And with no rope and no bridge, no undead cross over as well.
Oh, thank God.
As you are brought inside by Menrin to join the other survivors inside his shop, where's Trelif?
I didn't see
Where
him
is
on the
he?
roof.
He stayed behind and held the stairs as long as he could.
Oh.
Did you make it?
Yes. Menrin made it, but Trelif did not. or Wolfred made it. But you watch as Menrin closes his eyes. There is a solemn frustration, learning of his longtime friend being gone.
How long can we stay in here?
Roll for me an insight or a survival check.
My instinct is we've got to go. But what do I know? I only got a 10.
Yeah, but not now. They're right outside the door. And I think some of us could use some rest.
Well, Zanilla,
Is this place secure enough?
with a 22, Zanilla, you know that you cannot stay here very long. There is undead outside, and this is a butcher shop. They will smell the meat and be drawn in.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, we need to go. There was a place that we said we can go that's underground that will lead us to the cathedral. But
it was not
right?
underground.
Oh.
It was
Oh,
just
I
a
thought-
it was just a path that would take you through the House of Coins, which is a district. So it's just like a street path that would take you a shortcut.
Okay.
Did they not also say through the graveyard?
Yeah, like walking through the graveyard.
Okay.
Like on a path.
Oh, you know.
It takes you by the graveyard.
Zombies.
Yeah,
Graveyard.
sure, fine. Yeah, obviously.
I mean, they're all buried underground. How could they get out, right?
Right. I think Anansi's is right that this is a too larger of a group. We need to split into smaller groups and try to all make it there.
But you do mention that it is at the cathedral that you'd be heading.
Thinks that's the safest bet, don't you think?
Well, Benrin says, I'm not gonna stay in the shop and just die. I'm going
No.
to the cathedral. And, well, I'll do so with or without anyone else.
We'll go.
We'll go in. Yeah. Who was the person who said they knew the way?
Anasi?
No, it was the...
Adira.
No. It was Vraga and Zrega who had a area, because they would be making the deliveries into that area. So, the two of them would know where to go.
Have we lost them both?
No, they're alive,
Oh, okay.
and can give you that information.
And how many people are in the butcher shop?
Let's find out.
Callus is looking around to see if anyone in particular is there.
There are 10 more figures in the butcher shop.
And they're the guards, right?
They are more mercenaries. They are soldiers. They are not quite the civilians that were in the what's it called?
Tavern.
Tavern. The Rest and Resin. We
So
do not
had about
see...
20 before. 5 died, so 25.
At least it's a slightly better arms group, I guess.
Yeah, we separate into 2 to 3 groups.
Well, if you plan to separate into groups, I guess that will then beg the question. Are your groups going to try and help each other out? Cause distractions to perhaps let those that are worse off have a better chance of survival? Or is it every group for themselves?
I think Ridian would like to volunteer the freaking nobles. But Zanilla would leave it to the mercenaries or the fighter groups to suggest something because she's just like, I feel like
No, we're
Yeah.
we're in this together, all of us. We should
Yeah.
help each other.
Okay. Yeah. We should do that.
Any? You think a distraction is a good idea? Is there any suggestions? I'm trying to think what I might have.
I mean, there's a lot of meat in here.
That's a really good point.
We pile up the meat by the front door and everybody run through the back door?
No,
Oh.
we could use
We
it.
gather them
We
and
could use
throw them
the
as we run?
We could use the meat to get them off of us.
Oh, yeah. Like a distraction.
I mean, it would.
Okay.
It's something. It would
Yeah.
cut into our supplies, but we can't exactly travel heavy in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. And I'd rather live than eat. Oh, immediate problems. Okay. Anansi?
Hmm.
I kind of noticed that you were looking for someone. Are you looking for someone?
No,
Oh, okay.
I'm definitely looking for someone. Has anyone seen Delana around here? Did they make it out?
Do you all say out loud?
Yeah. Yeah, Callus isn't trying to hide anything at this point.
Yeah, I did see him. That would be coming from. Need to get their name. That would be coming from Regna. He was he snuck out just after you all left the first time to get the lieutenant. And then there was another figure that followed after him. A strange goblin.
All right. Well, I'll just have to keep an eye out. We should proceed as we can, as safely as we can.
All right. Yeah. So what? We all take some meat to use as a distraction if we need to.
Okay.
And then
Won't just holding it draw them to us.
I mean, aren't we meat as it is? To them, anyway.
I suppose that's fair.
so
They're going to be drawn to us no matter what. We can have something to hopefully get them off of us. Distract them enough to get away.
it's as plausible an idea as any we've had, I think.
Honestly, when we went out the first time, I think we got lucky.
Yeah.
All of us saw Callus shot one, and it should have killed it, and it didn't.
Oh, crap. Okay. Easy to hit, hard to kill. Okay.
What direction do we need to be going in?
That way.
I would say that with conversations with Rega and Straga, you have I don't have a map drawn out to tell you north, east, or anything like that, but you know the direction that you would need to go. You have that.
Okay.
Because especially Walk and Zanilla, having been here all your
Growing up
lives,
here.
you know the city fairly well.
Okay.
All right. Is it out the front or the back door?
Well, at this point, I don't think that either way really changes too much. But I think that if we're going off of your idea of trying to split up, the larger group takes the front. It's a little bit easier to get out of. Small group takes the back. Well, whoever's going to be making the distraction, head out first.
So 10 out the front. Sorry, 15 out the front, 10 out the back.
Well, it depends. You are a bit of a experts here. You seem to be coming up with the ideas. You're the ones that suggested a smaller group. You feel comfortable taking more than your number? We've got soldiers aplenty. You may be able to cover ours.
Yeah, if we want to do 2 groups, why don't we have like 7 soldiers and civilians for the larger group, and then us 5 plus, whichever,
That
for
would
the
make
rest.
you the larger group.
Okay, us and the what? Oh, I'm gonna shut up.
How many? I thought there were quite a lot of civilians.
Well, there are 10 figures that were in Menrin's shop, and then Menrin himself.
Okay.
So that's 11. The 5 of you, plus
Yeah, there were 20. There were 25 in total people, but
No, there was 20 of us over in the other building, but how many died? I think about 5, right?
5 died, but we picked up another 11.
So 15 plus 11 is 26.
Yeah.
So if we do
So
15 and 11. Numbers game.
Or we go with another, say, 3 mercenaries and everyone else takes a bigger group. And we try and cause some noise, some distraction.
So you've got 11 and 16, 17, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 total because of the ones that you don't know where Delana is. You don't know where Nonsense Dad is. I have it somewhere in my notes, but just not here. And then you did lose Selin and Galendrin.
And Trellis.
And Trellis, yep.
So Callus and Anansi, do you think we should be in the bigger group, the small group, and distraction or not distraction?
I think we should be the smaller group with all of your smaller dispositions and my, of course, natural sneaking ability. I think we'd be just fine on our own, and if we need to create distractions, I think we're creative enough to do so.
I agree.
Okay.
All right. So we're going out the back.
I like that. You're sneaky too, Anansi.
I do my best.
All right.
Okay.
I guess we go. There's no time like the present. At least a number of them are still in the tavern. Let's go before they come out, right?
Yeah, we're not gonna last here long.
So, spilling out the back, handfuls of meat. you are planning to make the distraction, yes?
If needed.
Well, it'll probably assist those that are trying to
Yeah.
get out the front. But of course, those
Okay.
could be sacrificial lambs. Help you get out more profitably.
Trying to think what I've got that could be a distraction.
Faye, while we're in the meat shop, would I be able to craft some kebab arrows?
Yeah, I'd say
I love
so.
it.
All right.
I will use 5 of my moves to craft 5 kebab arrows.
I'll say that you don't have to be heading out immediately after this decision. You can take time to prepare stuff. So,
It would take like 5 minutes.
All right. I
How
have
did
an idea. I can. I know, blah blah blah, magic, whatever. I can summon a beast to run out in the opposite direction from us, in the hope that they'll follow it to create a distraction for us to go the other way.
That's good.
Um,
And I will make 5 kebab crossbow bolts as well.
okay.
all right. So I will. I will cast second level summon beast.
How long does it last?
An hour.
Okay.
But it's going to go in the opposite direction and die, I'd imagine.
Probably.
Yeah, but I don't feel so bad about that.
Yeah, it's a summonable. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to go for a land beast rather than air or water. And kind of, I want to pick something that's quite stompy and noisy. So maybe like a bull or
I would say
something like that.
a boar, a moose. That would be a
Yeah.
good one. Something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, boar sounds good.
Yeah.
So I'm going to summon it and I will say charge in that direction, and if there aren't any commands after that, it just uses the dodge action. So just run and dodge, run and dodge. I'm going to try to send it like towards and past the tavern because I imagine we're going in the opposite direction.
All right, sounds good.
Make as much noise as you can.
There's just a grunt from the boar.
All right. Let us
All
go.
right, let's go.
So, the boar runs out, starts squealing, rushing through the debris and causing a ruckus in the opposite direction of where you want to head out. And you would notice that the creatures do follow, undead. And,
Should have strapped some meat to it.
It is a large meat.
You know.
Meals on Wheels.
Heels and hooves.
Little stabby legs.
What would be I'll have to put some thought into that. Your chops on quick flops.
Wow.
Sorry. As you have that creature head off, you are able to make your movements now, and then shortly after you, the other caravan will escape into the other alleys. you move through and do so quite carefully. But let's just see how your efforts are going. Why don't we get a stealth check just to cover your groups?
Oh, fudge me. Why do I... God damn it.
Oh, mine's not great either.
Oh, that's not bad.
There's a moment where you do have to utilize a kebab, either arrow or crossbow bolt. If one gets a little too close to walk. But mostly, you're able to get through. And it's about maybe, with your slow movement, careful movement, about a little less than an hour when you are arriving at the edge of the House of Coins, climbing over the gatehouse to look. You can see the rampant devastation of the uncontrolled fires throughout the city. And as you are looking around, let's get perception checks. Walk, Janilla, and Calix. You see the path that you are supposed to take. The one that Draga and Draga had told you of. And while it is a fairly direct route, it is dangerous. Your path will need to be carefully trod. Probably want to continue on with your stealth capabilities. So, why don't we have a moment here while you are away, if there are any preparations you would like to do to maybe assist in your efforts. You are at the top of the gatehouse.
Okay. Well, I mean, I have my... I'm gonna say I use one of my crossbow bolts because, you know, Callus has already used up a couple more ahead of me, so... I
Works
think
for
I
me.
Yeah. I don't have any additional...
No, I'm debating whether I should use my last wild shape to turn into something small, but I feel like that's not necessarily a great idea.
I think as we continue to move, Callus is going to actually make the undead his second priority. He's really focused on finding Delana, and it would not be hidden. He's looking under boxes, checking under carts, looking in barrels quietly as they go.
Hey, Callus.
Yeah.
Who is Delana? What do they look like?
Zanilla, you know Delana. He is a gnomish merchant. You've seen him about the town
Okay.
before. He's
Okay.
He's not an unknown figure.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
Let's just get there. Come on.
Yeah. Here we go.
So
Yeah.
let's get another round of stealth checks, please.
Oh God, please.
That's better this time for me.
Oh, fudge.
This Kalish focus is a little bit more on trying to find a figure through your pathways. Zanilla, you seem a little worried. Staying close by, making sure nothing happens to us. Again, this is your group kind of moving through and trying to make its way to safety. When Zanilla, you notice You've stock still as you can hear the sounds nearby of a pack of zombies. Small, only about 3 of them, but they're closer than you would like. They don't seem to have noticed you yet. What will you do, Zanilla, here?
Can I use the crossbow, my kebab crossbow bolt?
Sure. Where do you aim it?
I would like to do something stupid and aim at one of the zombies so they all attack each other.
Okay.
Is that a dumb idea?
Make an attack roll, please.
I think it's a clever idea.
10.
Alright. As your crossbow bolt rings out, it bounces off of the armor, and as it clatters against the ground, the zombies do seem to be distracted for a moment, allowing you to get away. Return with the rest of your group. You reach a
Shock that worked.
You reach a point halfway through your travels. A walled garden, just at the edges of the old graveyards. You see that here are numerous dead bodies. Can everyone roll me a survivor? No, these ones are not. So, Zanilla and Anansi notice. The way that these undead are strewn about and damaged quite violently, you understand that severe fighting must have occurred here. If you'd like to learn more, you can roll for me investigations.
Can I still do investigation even though I didn't notice the fighting?
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be put out that there would have been fighting here, but Walk, with the investigations, you're the one that kind of recognizes this, that the dead here include victims who were both living and undead, and several guards.
Some of these zombies are dead. Someone found a way to kill them. Hold on. I'd like to investigate one of the zombie bodies to try and figure out if there's any similarity I can notice about the way that they are that maybe has killed them. Like, are they all missing their heads? Or
Yeah, go ahead, give me a medicine check. Doesn't seem to be, there does seem to be trauma to the heads, but not quite anything specific. They just seem to have a lot of wounds on it, such like how you did with Defrin, just sort of beating them down to where the body is no longer able to sort of exist any further. However, with a 12 medicine as well, just kind of being in the proximity, you're able to notice that 4 of the victims here are acolytes that appear to have been killed by bladed weapons, but no signs of a cursed disease that have been raising the dead.
so you mean the 4 acolytes who have been stabbed don't seem like they were zombies?
Correct. Nor do they carry any sign of having the infection.
Zanilla,
Yes.
these acolytes, do you recognise them?
Do I recognize them?
You don't know them by name, but you have seen them before.
Yes.
So they're dead, but it doesn't look like the kind of zombie attacked it. Like, there's no, it doesn't look like there's bite marks. These were stabbed and slashed. And there's no infection. Look, there's no, like the marks we said saw up Callus's arm. It's nothing like that. You're a healer. What do you
Hey,
make of this?
you said there were guards as well, yes?
Some of
Bodies
them.
of dead guards.
Yeah, some of the dead guards here.
What are the chances? Is there a check I can do to see? I mean, only other thing that I can think about is guards panicking and then just killing the acolytes as thinking that, because they were, I don't know.
No, see,
Maybe I'm just
thought,
overreaching.
my thought is, why are the acolytes in a graveyard? Well, maybe they're the creepy people who started all this.
Oh,
I don't. I mean, Zanilla, take this the way I mean it, but I've never really trusted the gods and their followers. You, sure, I trust you with my life, but
Just
not
because they're acolytes doesn't mean that they're good.
Yeah, exactly. Like, blind faith isn't always wonderful. I mean,
While you're having this conversation, can I get a perception check? And this can be from anyone. Walk, Zanilla, and we'll see how Callus does. Walk and Zanilla. You notice that one of the dead acolytes seems to be clutching onto a badge of a Timber Knight.
who were the Timber Knights again?
That's one of the mercenary groups. Scrungle would be a part of the Timber Knights.
Okay.
That are kind of the guards of this area.
So, holding on to it like they were a Timber Knight, or holding on to it as if they pulled it off a Timber Knight?
As if they pulled it off a Timber Knight.
Right.
And looking a little bit closer, you would see that a name on the badge is Brigade. Perhaps even the same from Tully's crew that were being bothersome in the Rest in Resin earlier. Callus and Anansi. While Warwick and Zanilla are focusing kind of on the more concentrated bodies, your two attentions are drawn off. There is another body a little bit off to the side. A man climbing out of a sewer vent. And what kind of has drawn your attention is that his body doesn't show any wounds. Well, doesn't show any wounds that would mean death. He does seem to have some wounds in his body. But he does seem to be decayed severely, as if done by magic. If you would like to get more information of this body, I would ask for an investigation. And you, of course, can alert Zanilla and Walk about it as well.
What's going on?
Take a look before alerting anyone, just in case it's nothing.
I'll then ignore my roll.
Well, Callus, with a 22, you would notice that while there doesn't seem to be any wounds that are indicative of death beyond just the severe decay, his right hand is missing all of its fingers, almost like they were blown off in an explosion.
And Anansi is looking at the same body, right?
Yeah, but she doesn't seem to piece together. Like, Anansi would see that it's missing all the fingers, but the explosion part.
It's very distracting for Anansi.
I'll suggest that they appear to have been blown off to Anansi.
That's weird.
It's very strange.
Maybe, I mean, they're climbing out of the sewer. Maybe they were messing around with things that they shouldn't have down there.
At this point, you would hear a crackle and a crack as one of the nearby buildings that was on fire collapses.
Uh-oh.
And it is quite loud. And you hear the sound of footsteps.
We need to move.
Towards the building?
Towards the building, which is nearby you.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
okay.
we gotta go.
Yep, let's go.
Alright, what sort of checks would you like to make to evade the zombie horde?
Stick into stealth, I think.
Stealth for sure.
Yeah.
God, I am so sorry.
I think I'm getting.
Well, you could use other checks as well. I'm asking what checks you would like to use. So if
I'm glad I used my inspiration.
Zanilla would like to use stealth, you can do that. But if you would like to use something else,
Yeah, but I already rolled it. That seems like I'm cheating.
well, I'm just making sure you are aware, because
Yep,
It-
yep.
did sound like you would not have chosen stealth if you...
No, I would have chosen probably perception or investigation to see if I could see any of the zombies coming and avoid them. But
Okay. Well, as you all begin your run through the alleyways, trying to keep to the shadows, trying to keep quiet, Callus and Anansi seem to be doing quite well. Perhaps it is due to their training in such events. Walk, Janilla, however. As you try to keep up with your companions, you stumble across the ground, through the debris, and you can hear where the horde is following after you. I'm going to ask for another round of checks here.
I'm gonna use perception to see if I can see where they're coming from and avoid them.
Well, you know where they're coming from. They're coming from behind
Oh,
you.
okay. Well, 12.
I'm using my inspiration.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, I feel like now's the time.
Janilla, while you know where the zombies are coming from, you're keeping an eye out for other paths that you might take. And, it seems that what you're spotting isn't much different than what you're already running. But, as you all make your way through, you feel confident that you've gotten enough distance between you and the horde, and you are reaching the courtyard to the House of the Divines. However, as you are arriving here, what you all can see is that there is a horde of zombies that are attacking the main doors. And you would also see the other figures, or at least some of them, from the shop. It seems that they've made it here as well.
Oh, good, good, good.
But they are on the other side of the entrance. So if you are wanting to try and group up to see if... Because again, you only see a portion of them.
Okay.
You want to see if this is a scouting group or a group of survivors. You'd have to cross over some open ground to reconvene. And then, of course, there is... And of course, there is the fact that the main doors are being attacked. You'll have to find some other way of getting to the House of the Divines.
Does Zanilla know anything about the House of the Divines?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
You do. This is your area. You could probably get away in through the Gardens of Contemplation that are on the side, but you'd be having to likely move past some scattered undead. But go ahead if anyone would like to roll for me a history check here.
Give it a stab.
Sanilla and Walk. You recall Adira, the tiefling acolyte, had said that there are soldiers here, mercenary guards.
Mhm.
You might be able to get the attention of posted guards who may be able to help with cover. So they'll have to try and figure out a way to do that without alerting the undead.
How far away are the guards?
You don't know. You don't see any. You just know that they exist. So there might be some in the windows trying to keep an idea of what the visuals are. But there's none outside.
I'm trying to figure out if I could cast Chill Touch on something, just so that there's like a waving skeletal hand. But that's like a really crap version of Mage Hand.
Yeah, I don't have that.
No, I don't either, hence the thought of Chill Touch.
Perhaps someone in the other group might be able to do something similar.
Okay.
But you don't
So
know.
I guess, do we try to get to the other group, guys? What do you think? Callus, Nancy?
I mean, if we can get to them in one piece.
How many zombies are attacking the front door?
It's a whole board, so like you're
Oh.
thinking at least 20 or so, but it's a large pack. And then there's
Yeah.
more that are scattered about kind of in the gardens that you
Okay.
can see.
So 1, 2, 3 lots.
All right, let's try to get to the group.
So your intention is to go find the group, the other group?
I think so.
Well, we will pick up with you in your attempts to make it over to the other survivors in our next session. So, thank you to our players for playing. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you to our viewers for viewing. I hope you all enjoyed this. We'll see you in our next session of the Stygian Turn to see how things go for our survivors. But as we head out, I will see you in the next stream. But until then, head over to wildewitch.com, check us out there. Join us in our Discord to keep up to date with our announcements, as well as jumping into a game yourself. And of course, as always, may the ever-burning light forever guide your steps. Laters.